up, everybody? Welcome back to the Scottie Show, man. I know it's been a minute since we've done podcasts, but I'm glad to be back with Tone Deaf, man. It's been a minute, for us to get this in, man. But how you
For
been,
real.
Tone Deaf?
Man, I've been good. I've been working a lot.
Yeah.
It's been a grind for real. Stuff's just getting expensive, so I picked up a second little income job. It's been a lot, to
Yeah. You live on the
say the
East Coast,
least.
right? Right. You
West
live
Coast,
West
actually.
Coast. Damn.
Yeah,
So like Seattle area or like Washington
yeah. So
State.
I'm Tacoma, like right next to Tacoma, that area. So
Okay, so you buy Astro and shit.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Okay.
I'm over by like 40 minutes south of Seattle, just kind of in the heart of all of the Washington cities. So
Okay. Okay.
it's chill.
So yeah, man. So for the people that don't know who Tone Deaf is, man, who's Tone Deaf?
Tone Deaf is just kind of a jack of all trades artist. I love making content. Just I would say Tone Deaf is probably just kind of like ethereal sounds mixed with kind of like trap heavy beats.
Yeah, yeah. I like and with the ethereal like sound, like your videos also look like, like how like they sound, like what makes you like want to like choose like that style of making a video for your music? Like it's like it seems like bright, it seems angelic, like you can't really see
Yeah.
the like when like how people describe seeing angels, like you can see
Uh-huh.
the body but you can't see the face, like but there's just a bright light behind
Uh-huh.
them. Like what makes you like pick like that kind of like design out for like your videos?
A lot of times like I've always been a fan of like soft ambient lighting, like in cinema and stuff.
Hmm.
And I think that for me, it's been kind of a cool journey because I used to go with like really dark, gritty kind of like videos when I do my own visuals. And
Mm.
as the sound kind of evolved, I started to really be kind of purposeful with like what I chose to make it fit. So I like really just like white, kind of like soaring looking vocals, and I like to use a lot of weird effects. One of my favorite things to do, that's it's not actually an effect that's like pre-made, but what I'll do is I'll take like a video of whatever shot it is, and then I will duplicate the video, and then I'll change like the layers so that it looks kind of like, for lack of a better word, like you're on drugs.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No.
Like the kind of like weird, like it feels like everything's kind of
Like a
slipping
euphoric
away.
kind of, yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Hell
I
yeah.
do that manually. So I'll take the whole video and then I change just like the opacity, like if you're looking at the video, and then I do like 6 layers of that so that
Mm.
every time the hand moves, there's like another layer of it moving behind. So I try to like make my videos kind of mimic whatever the sound is doing, which
Mm.
is a challenge. So I don't make them as often as I'd love to, but
Yeah. How would you like describe like how you feel about the music that you're making right now? Are you looking for like anything different in like the style that you're making it? Are you trying to experiment like differently with things? Like what are you up to next with like music? Because I see like a lot of people like kind of like working on different sounds. I see people working on house music and
hmm.
making that kind of style. I see people still going heavy with like the hyper pop, but like now I see hyper pop kind of like making like a crossover into like the trap rap kind of like stuff.
Yeah.
Like what kind of styles are you thinking about experimenting with?
I mean, the first thing I do is I kind of start with my voice. Like I've been trying for the last like 2 years to really get a signature when it comes to my voice.
Yeah.
And then beats, like whatever beat I use or make is kind of secondary to that. Like the most important thing to me is that people could hear my voice and go, that's tone deaf.
Hmm.
So for me, like right now, I'm really into like kind of orchestral, like ambient angel voice type pads and stuff. So I've been
Hmm.
making my own beats more lately, which has been super fun.
Hell
And then
yeah.
I always kind of fall back into doing like lo-fi hip hop beats too. So
Hmm.
it's kind of a combo of those. And then any kind of collab I do with another producer, that's more like, okay, Tone Deaf's voice has got to sound like the other recordings I've done. And then
Hmm.
it's kind of whatever the producer's deciding to do. Like, for instance, that tape I did with Charlie,
Hmm.
Apartment 9, I wouldn't make those beats, but he did. So then I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna flip my spin on it, and it ended up being really cool because he was like, "Yo, send me samples." So I sent him a bunch of samples I found. He made beats, then I did vocals, and then we had a tape. We did that thing in like, I want to say it was like 2 weeks. So for
Mm,
me, I'm just trying to like, when I work with other artists, I get inspired and excited, and then
mm-hmm.
I try new shit. So
Yeah.
like, it helps me kind of naturally get my sound where I want it to go. Because personally, I don't really sit down and go like, I have to do this,
Mm-hmm.
or else I just kind of like I get frustrated because it's not gonna happen how I think it should, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that.
So
Um,
it's yeah.
oh, you go ahead. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, finish,
No, I was
please.
just gonna say it's good for me to have people around me that I can work with because they try new shit all the time, and then I go,
Mm.
damn, that was crazy. Like, wonder if I could do something in my own way, kind of like that, and then it helps me not like, you know, get discouraged because there's always something new to listen to, especially
Mm-hmm.
with like the artists I work with. So
Yeah, definitely. Who are some of like your favorite collabs that you have done? Just like it could be from years in the past or like, into like the present. Like who's like, some of your
yeah.
favorite collabs?
Well, I mean, the most recent, yeah, okay, that one was fire.
Yeah, yeah, that one was fire. I'm not even gonna lie. That was
We
fire.
were like, she sent that to me, and I was so excited because, like, within 2 seconds, I was like, "Yep, this is the one." Like,
Hmm.
she had really like, you could tell she thought about kind of my voice and how it was going to work with the sound. So like, that's been a really cool one because not only are we like friends and mutuals within the community of artists we work with, but it's also someone I highly respect
Yeah.
as an artist. So it's cool to see that happen, and it was amazing to be a part of because the reception on that tape was awesome. Like, everybody fucked with it, so
Yeah, yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah, it's dope like seeing like the crossovers and stuff and like seeing people like just like work together and it's making like I feel like the more artists that like work with each other and it's like genuine like the better the music's gonna sound the
For
bigger
sure.
the bigger the audiences will become and it builds like a story like
Yeah,
it not only builds a story but it gives like the artist like credibility because
for
like
sure.
you're working within your community because some people it's like industry plants like they come up but like they have no like no one knows like no one knows them they haven't
Hmm.
worked with any artists like in their area or like within the community so it's like yo who is this
Yeah,
person like I feel like collabing and sometimes you don't even have to collab just being a part of the community
for
and like
sure.
showing love it gives you some form of like credibility
Yeah,
as like as someone in like the underground music scene or the music scene in general how
no
do you
facts.
yeah
It's,
yeah yeah how do you feel about that?
I mean, it took me a while, I think, to kind of learn that because when I first started out, I was, at least as tone deaf, I was very much like, I had built that, you know, in the metal and hardcore community, being in a
Hmm.
band. I
Yeah.
had built that like street cred with like my bandmates, with different bands. Everybody knew me as, you know, a member of that band. But
Hmm.
then when I disbanded from the band and started to try again on my own, I was kind of trying to do the same thing, but everybody's like, who the fuck are you? You
Yeah.
know, and so it was like, it took me a while to kind of find those artists that I could be friends with too and create real energy with.
Hmm.
Because in the beginning, it was super transactional, like very business like, hey, I'm gonna pay you for a feature. Um, you know, then we'll do business. And so I think for me, it's nice to be kind of on the flip side of that and have people who are genuinely interested in what I'm making, rather than me being like, yo, we kind of sound the same, let's work. It's just
Yeah.
not real, you know.
Yeah, and like especially like like it makes sense like to collab with someone if you actually like their music and like not
Exactly.
forcing the yeah and not forcing the collab, you know what I'm saying? Because some people like to force it and like then like the song just doesn't sound as good. Like I've done features like because people have like asked me like yo if you want to hop on the song like and they don't really listen to my music and like they see
Right.
like the name and stuff like this happened like years ago though but like they sent me the song and I'm just like this doesn't even sound like I would be like on this kind of beat or like on
Right.
yeah and I'm just like I guess because like they paid me and like I'm fulfilling something but I'm just like I feel like you're wasting your money here Like,
No,
and
for sure.
wasting your money and your time, and like, like, and I just think that like more like, being genuine and like actually like fucking with like the person's music, will
Right.
take you a long way rather than, just clout chasing. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Exactly.
comes off as super weird, and
Yeah.
like I said, the song just does not sound good. There's so many songs I've heard where I'm like, this collab should have never happened, and it kind of seems like it was more of like a business transaction rather than
Yeah.
two homies linking up and
Exactly.
making some dope shit.
Yeah, I think when I started, I kind of fell into that trap. I mean, I even have it's still one of my bigger songs just because of the name, but I have that feature with Smart Death, and it's kind of a thorn in my side because I was doing that exact thing. I was like, "Yo, Smart Death,
Yeah,
you're doing features." He's like, "Yeah, send me the dough." I'm like, "All right, bet."
yeah,
But we aren't friends, like we don't
yeah,
actually hang out. And so you
yeah,
can hear it in the song. And I think that that's kind of like telling of if you can't move past that kind of like chasing coattails, you're not going to really get real fans or real support because
yeah,
you're always going to be chasing what someone else has built. It's like, in that sense, I'm kind of just working for that artist. I'm not actually like building my own brand. So I
yeah.
think when the pandemic hit, there was a lot of like I had a lot of like really cool artists that I worked with in real life, like doing shows and basement shows, and then they all kind of disappeared because they had to figure stuff out. And then I was like, okay, I need to do something. Like I need to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on. So I kind of reassessed my values and where I was headed. And so I kind of switched sounds. I stopped drinking. I did a bunch of like kind of life shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of evolved me. I kind of realized I was set in a lot of like very selfish thinking
Mm-hmm.
around like 2019 and shit. And so I kind of looked at my life. I'm like, I have a kid, he's 6. I got a family. I got a wife. Like it's a lot to deal with. And so my head was in the wrong place. I was really chasing fame. I was chasing like just kind of a shitty lifestyle. So I had to
Yeah.
switch it up. And for me, it kind of started with not like leaning on other artists and trying to
Mm-hmm.
be like them, and
And
that helped.
yeah, and the game has like changed because like I even hear a lot of managers and like people that like I go to like No Jumper sometime just to, like see like what's up, and like a lot of like they even say like artists back then thought that like buying a feature off of a artist was like how to get like fans and stuff like that. When that's not the case, people thought that paying to open up for another artist is how to get fans,
Right.
and that's not the case. And
It's
like
true.
and it's always about just like putting in the work and like doing like the
Mm-hmm.
groundwork and just being active in your own community and the people that like
Exactly.
support you. Like that's like one of the things that like really like I stick to, and I'm glad that like I'm glad that like we are in our I would say early mid 20s now, and like some people figure that out in their when they're like 35 or some shit like that.
Right.
Like, like,
Exactly.
and it's good that like, as I would say that we OGs, like
Mm-hmm.
it's good that like we spread this information to like, the younger, like, artists that are like in there,
Real.
like
Yeah, that's
18,
real.
19, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people don't like to share information and stuff like that. And it comes off as like, to me, it comes off as corny because like, why are you
Yeah.
like, you're like some fucking old fuck, and like you hold on to information that you can't even use,
No,
and
for
like
real.
and when why would you like not like, and I feel like I would rather build up people and help people out because like I have a mindset of like if one wins we all win, even if I'm not
Oh
the one
yeah,
making the
same.
millions of dollars. I'm just like, yo, dude,
Exactly.
I'm happy that I could be a part of this story. And like, and then like,
Exactly. Yeah.
and the thing that I like, whenever I watch music videos, I not only watch the artist, I watch the people in the background, because the people in the
Yeah.
background are just as important as the people that are performing, because
It's
they
true.
know they are a part of that artist's journey. They are a part of the story. And
Exactly. Yeah.
those people have management companies, those people have other businesses and stuff like that.
Right.
And like they're also successful. So like you don't need to be like in the limelight, or you don't need to be like an
100%.
artist in order to make money. Like like you can, people could pay you for like, you know, like special, like to teach them like, yo, like this is how you want to like maneuver and like, you know, in
Mm-hmm.
music and stuff like that. Because information, you know, information ain't free, you know. Sometimes
As
people
facts.
people sell information and stuff, and I feel like someone like you that knows how to do production, you know how to do vocals and stuff like that. I feel like you can give like so many dope like seminars and like webinars on how to like do these kind of things and how to like network and stuff. Because I feel like
Yeah, man.
coming, you came from doing like rock music and screamo and all that kind of stuff to
Mm-hmm.
doing like the rap shit, and like you made like one of the cleanest like I would say it's pretty clean transition, because a lot of people like know who you are like in you know in
Right.
the music scene. So I'm just like, damn, like this person came from, you know, the rock and like the rock scene and shit like that, and then everyone in the rap scene, like underground like rap scene, knows who he is. I'm just like, okay, this dude made a pretty like clean like transition to, you know, like this shit. So I'm pretty sure like he has like some clear, like, you know, he has some sense about like these kind of things.
Yeah.
What you know, like what got you started into making music and stuff? Let's you know, let's go back in time.
Yeah. Well, man, like for me, it was my mom and dad. Like they just played some hits when I was a kid. Like my mom used to play like The Cure,
Mm-hmm.
just tons of really good like 80s bands. My dad was a
Yeah.
big fan of a bunch of them. I mean, like I grew up on really solid, like just good music. And I think for me it was a weird kind of place to be too, because I also grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
So they were always kind of like trying to protect me a little bit, I think, from like what they would call like secular music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, I think it's just kind of a product of the time. Like I grew up in the 90s, so
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of people were scared of a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think for me, I was kind of bubbled off from a lot of different stuff. I didn't really listen to a ton of rap music. My biggest in like when I was younger, like I wish I could have, but
Mm-hmm.
my parents were just like, no, like, they'd shield my ears from Eminem type shit, and so
Yeah.
like, but for me, like I did grew up with Linkin Park, like
Yeah,
that was a
Lincoln.
huge,
Yeah, I would consider dude a rapper in Lincoln
yeah,
Park.
I mean,
The
he's I don't feel like they're hip hop, but new metal itself is a
mhm.
genre that's unique for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Lincoln Park is fire. Who else? What other bands did you fuck with? Did you fuck with who made Chop Suey?
Oh, System of
System
a
of a
Down.
Down.
My
Did you fuck
dude,
with
my
them,
cousins, my cousins loved that band. They used to. My cousin was a he
dude?
doesn't do it at all anymore, but he used to play like drums in this super shitty like garage band, and they'd play that song and cover it. And like I remember being like, "The fuck is this?" Like when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
dude. I've been listening to my homie put me on this band called the Cranberries. Did you fuck with the Cranberries?
I have no idea who that is.
Dude,
That sounds
dude,
crazy.
they from night. They dropped an album called Everybody Else Is Doing It, so why can't we? They dropped it in 1993. I've been listening to
Oh
that
wow.
shit. Yeah. What about let me see. Dude, there's a bunch of like just like random ass like bands that I just remember as a kid. Do you remember the
Yeah.
band called Lynn?
No.
They made a song called Still My Sunshine. And you still my sunshine. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh, I
dun.
know. Okay, I know that song.
Yeah,
I know that
yeah,
song.
yeah. They made that
That
like
song is weird. That's such a
yeah,
weird song.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
there was a lot of like
there's like a
early
lot of
90s shit.
yeah, all the early 90s shit, like those kind of bands, like I think that they're so fire. And like I really haven't like
Yeah.
heard any like other bands that like, you know, there are some of like, you know, in 2022, you know, there are some that like kind of like stick out to me, but it seems like they're just recreating. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
them are just trying to recreate what Lil Peep had still. I feel like a lot of them are
Yeah,
still trying to
true.
do like that goth boy click shit. And like I'm not mad at it, but I'm just like, yo, let's get more creative. Like I want to see
Yeah,
people
let's move on. Like we got
like,
new shit to make.
and
Like
it makes me not like, and I was a huge Lil Peep fan. It makes me not appreciate
yeah,
Lil
same.
Peep. Like for how many people that like try to like copy him, I'm like, yo, like y'all making me hate. Like I don't even want to hate this nigga Lil Peep, like, but like y'all making me like not even like I have all his albums on my phone, and like I have to like anytime like
Right.
I put my shit on shuffle, when a Lil Peep song come on, I gotta skip past that shit because I'm just like, bro, like
Dude, I know.
because
It's tough. It's tough. You had last time we talked, you were talking about like you had been in the original like goth boy click OG kind of scene with like
yeah.
and like Bones and all of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had met Wicca Phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Fucking met
same.
him in
Yeah.
Chicago. Yeah.
He's fucking amazing. He's one of my
Yeah, dude.
favorites
Cool as
still to
fuck.
this
I
day.
can listen to Wicked Phase. No one can copy Wicked Phase. No one can.
Nobody can.
No one can copy that
No.
sound. Like he
And
has
even
a.
if they do, they're gonna sound
It's
like
gonna sound fucking
he's
terrible. It's gonna sound
dude.
terrible because
He and oh my god, how
he
does
he. When I first
he
listened
goes like,
to him,
put me in a way, like everyone sounds like a fool when they try to sound like him, but he makes it
yeah,
genuine, and I don't know
yeah,
how. Like
yeah. Because like I remember
it's
when I first
crazy.
heard him, I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if this is good or not." And then it just started to grow. It started to grow on me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this dude's
Yeah,
good." And like anytime he drops now, I'm like, "Oh, download." I'm just like, I
bro,
just,
it's the same thing for me with like Young Lean and
yeah.
Blade and that whole Sad Boys crew. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's that when I first heard it, my friend put me on to him, and I was just like, this is fucking weird. But then it was like I was obsessed. I couldn't stop listening, and I had to like figure out everything and all the lore. And I think that goes to your point of like, if you don't build with your friends and build kind of a story, that's why Wicca Phase is so cool, because it's like he's built a little world around his
He
music.
grew like a lot of like other artists that were a part of like that thing. They were still like, no offense, but like a lot of people were saying, yo, they're riding on the, besides Lil Tracy, he's doing his own thing and he's still selling
He's
out
been doing
shows.
his own thing.
Everyone else, like in Goth Boy Clique, besides Wicca Phase, I feel like they like Wicca Phase is in his own lane too. He made Goth Boy Clique, so like you can't
No,
even.
literally.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
he created Goth Boy Clique, so like you
He's
can't
the
even say he's
CEO.
riding on the coattails of Lil Peep. He's the one that put Lil Peep on it for being like super
It's
honest.
true. It's
Like
true.
he
Peep
was
was a little freshman.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, like Wicked Phase was
yeah.
already doing that shit. He already had like a distribution deal and all that shit. I was like already like in tune with what he was doing because like I said, like I wanted to figure out who made like Goth Boy Clique and shit like that, and like
Right,
seeing like
right.
that whole entire scene. Like I still fuck with Cold Heart and all them, but like I want to like like hear them make some different shit. Like I'm still like a big fan of Goth Boy Clique. Like I'm always gonna be like, yo, they made like the dopest shit. Like I
Yeah, they
fuck with
made
them heavy,
waves.
but like I was just waiting for them to like grow with their audience because
Yeah.
we were fans of them when we were like 19, like
Yeah, 19,
18,
20. That
yeah,
was when I
19 and
was finding
20.
them.
Yeah. And I feel like, now they're pretty much the same age as us. And
We
now,
are, yeah, they are. Yeah.
yeah, and now like we grew up, but like I feel like their music didn't evolve with us. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh,
Like as
there's
adults, like as we grew up. And I feel like, that like I didn't like they became like phase music instead of, you
it's
know,
true. It's
like
true.
they became like phase music instead of like, music that lives on. Like Lil Peep, I feel like he was
Mm-hmm.
transcending that phase music when he dropped,
It's
Come Over
facts.
When
He
You're
was working
Sober.
with big pop artists, like
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, I felt like he was going to transcend that phase music scene. I feel like Lil Tracy is trying to transcend the phase music scene, and Wicked Phase, he's been transcended that. He's
Dude,
like, I look at him as like
he's
a cultural
making
icon.
he's making music for like some of his shit reminds me of it's like straight up out of like Europe, like 1812. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like it not of this time. Like it's like sorcerer music. Like
yeah. His
it's
shit is so fucking
trippy.
fire. Yeah, I like his
It's
whole entire
yeah.
sound.
I think I'm a big fan. If I can find artists or friends who, are making something that it doesn't even have to be completely 110% something I've never heard, because that's impossible.
Yeah.
But like I fuck with people who just want to make stuff they want to make. And you can like tell because like there's a genuine joy when they drop something. They're like, I cannot wait for you to hear this. Whether
Yeah.
it's something that's kind of similar to something else, it doesn't even matter. Like if they truly are wanting to make what they're making, like you can just feel the difference in the
Mm,
sound of the music. And I think for
facts.
me it's really important because otherwise we're just riding coattails, and like I don't
Mhm.
know, I don't want to do that. Like
Yeah.
I really gave up on that in 2018, which kind of came with my transition, because it's interesting you say that. Like to me it didn't feel like a smooth transition at all. It felt like I
Mhm.
got thrown off a bridge. Like
Yeah.
it was
No,
it
yeah,
was tough.
because when you're like going through like those times of like, yo, what the fuck do I do next? You feel like you're lost. You feel insanely depressed, and
For
like,
real.
and you just think that like, yo, like all this shit I did it for nothing. But
Yeah.
my thing is the only way you did it for nothing is if you stop. Like,
if you give up.
yeah, so I'm saying people that keep on going, and whether you're putting out music or putting out videos, like I encourage all of y'all to make your own YouTube accounts and start
Oh yeah.
just going off and just talking and like start like whether you're reacting to content, whether you're like giving like your like input or opinion on something, put it out there because
Yeah.
like people are going to pick up on it, people are going to become fans or supporters of whatever you do. So like the more you do it and the more you put out stuff, whether it's music, video content, whatever, like you're continuing to go and people are going to see that. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, you have a company might reach out to you and be like, yo, like we see that you're like into this kind of stuff. And would you want to like, like they're going to pay you to go to fucking concerts and cover it or some shit like that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Or
right,
like
right.
interview other artists and stuff. And I
Yeah.
feel like people like if you with the entertainment and music, I feel like it's more of a long game than it is a short game. And people want
It
to play the
100% is.
and people that play the fucking short game, they end up, becoming the most like depressed, the most sad because I feel like they if you're doing it for the money and not because you actually like what you're like, I like making videos, I like recording music for myself. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I didn't put music out, I would just have the music on my phone and I would listen to my like because like I'm like, damn, I wonder what it would sound like if I make like a fucking like acoustic like guitar song. I made an acoustic guitar song, I recorded it and put it out. Even if I didn't put it out, I would have it for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I like making music, I like
Exactly.
discovering different sounds and stuff. And I feel like if you like what you do, then you just do it. But if you're doing it for like the money and you see that people can make money off of it, then it becomes a little like stressful. It becomes a job instead of like, yo, this is like,
Mm-hmm.
like after you come out, like after I leave work, after my like my 8 hour shift, like my thing is like, yo, I like coming. Some people like going to the gym. I do like going to the gym, but like I like going to the I like making videos and stuff. I
Yeah,
like
for real.
it's like my escape, from like like everything
Exactly.
that's going on around me. It's not like, oh, I'm doing this because I need to make $1 million. It would be nice to make a
Facts.
million. It would be nice to make a
Oh,
million
on God.
dollars. Like, don't get me
No,
wrong.
for real, same.
Like, don't
I
get
mean,
me
if I can
wrong.
make any money I've made off music is a blessing,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know?
I look at that as like extra shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like that's like a part of it. Then, like, once you start making reoccurring income, that's when yeah, like this is a business now. But like right
Mm-hmm.
now, like I'm doing this because I love it. I love doing this. So like, I'm just happy that I can bring the podcast back and like bring it like bring it back with you on and like especially with you because like you have so much knowledge about music and like and I just like the way like you shoot your own videos, you record yourself, you make your own beats. Like I feel like I want to put people on that are really a great example of someone that takes their music seriously. And
Mm-hmm.
and like how do you feel when you like see people that may not take it seriously, like music and stuff? They just they just want to clout chase off of it. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like everybody's got to go through that,
Yeah.
and some people never really leave it. Uh, I think for me, it can get the thing that gets hard for me is when um people want to try and be experts on something like right
Mm-hmm.
away,
Yeah.
or like if they may not take they don't like take their craft that serious, but then they're all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden like, yo, hit me up for mixing. I'm like, dog, like like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just started 2 weeks ago. Like, I
Yeah.
get it, get your bag, but I feel like the older I get, the faster I can see through that kind of like money grabbing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, person, because
Yeah.
they're to me they're really obvious, but to a newcomer and a new artist, they might get scammed, and
Yeah.
I think for me it's really, I try to not necessarily just like come up against them, but like if I see people doing just hella whack shit, I might even just throw them a DM and be like, yo, like you could do it like this and it might help you out. Instead of trying to be like combative, I usually just try to come by and be like, yo, like
Mm-hmm.
what if you tried this? Sometimes they're just like, fuck off, and I'm like, cool, I'm not going to talk to you. But sometimes it ends up becoming a relationship, and then they slowly but surely start to like shift their gears with their
Mm-hmm.
minds. So
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't try to like control people. Everybody can do it how they want. If they want to sling, beats and make money, fuck yeah, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But be genuine. I think that's where it gets weird for me, is when people are just fake and they're trying to like kiss everyone's ass. Like it's just so obvious.
Yeah. Yeah. Like like I just like sometimes I feel like music now, like I don't want to say it's become like saturated because a lot of people, like I said, like they see that they could make a lot of money, like
Right.
these TikTokers and stuff, like they'll
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, I can just make a hit and like boom. Like I feel like now, like, and this is another reason why I feel like people aren't searching for music because it has become like so over like saturated and you don't know
Yeah.
who's a good artist, you don't know who's taking music seriously, you don't know who's like, really, like I said, you don't know who's taking their craft seriously. And that's why, like, so I've been picky about like who I want to cover as an artist and stuff
Right.
like that because I actually want to put people on that really take this seriously and like that have an actual, like, I can go to your SoundCloud or I can go to your Spotify or whatever. I can see that you have a long list of music. I can see that you have a track
Right.
record. Like I want to be able to like do that if I'm like, really like searching for music. Like I want to be
Right.
like, this person is like legit. He has a track record. He's been dropping music since 2017, and it's 2022. He's put out this many projects. He's put out this many songs. Like that is like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for
Right.
like, and even if they have 800 followers, or even if they have 600 or 500 followers, if the music's good, it's good. Like I really don't care.
Exactly.
All I care about is, are you consistent? Do you really care about what you're doing, and are you like passionate about like the
Right.
music and stuff? Um, what are some like, like what would be like a dream collab for you?
Ooh. That's hard because there's a lot. I
All
would
right,
say
give me five.
okay, 5. Um, I think me and Blade would sound fucking crazy
Yeah.
because like he's just he's Blade. That'd be fire.
Yeah.
I'd want to collab with man, who the fuck was it? I was just talking with a friend about this. Uh, dude, I want to make a Slug Christ song because I think that
Dude,
would go.
Slug Christ is fire. I haven't
I think
heard.
it would go. I think it would go crazy. I'm gonna go see him
Dude,
this
when was the last
week.
time he dropped?
He drops. I think he just dropped a song. Actually, it's like really funny.
Dude,
But
I know is he still signed to Alpha Records?
I think so. I don't know. They're doing a show this week. I'm going to it in Seattle.
Shit, that sounds fire. So you gonna see Father and all them niggas too?
Yeah, it's gonna be all of them, dude. I'm
Oh
excited as
fuck,
hell.
that is fire.
Yeah, dude. So one
That's
of my
fire.
so that Slug Christ is just so weird. I think it'd be such a crazy collab.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'll go with those two right now. I'm trying to think. There was one other person. Shit.
Dude,
I've
you are good, bro.
I've collabed with hella like people I want to collab with already, but
Yeah.
those are two who are I just think would be cool, like super different.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think do you know who Ethel Kane is?
I've heard of them. Is that the one who's
That's a girl. It's a girl. Her name's
she's the one
Ethel.
who's done the like she's got the really like ethereal type voice, right? Like
Yeah, like she just dropped an album called Preacher's Daughter.
oh
She
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
She's super good.
yeah, she was on so when I met Wicked Phase in Chicago, she was there, but I didn't know who she was. I think she's gonna
Yeah.
be in your area because she's going on tour. I was gonna say you should definitely check her out. She's fire. She can sing her ass off.
That would
She's the
that'd be
yeah,
that'd be
yeah,
fire. I'll
yeah,
see
dude.
if she's coming through because it'd be a good show. That'd be fire.
Yeah, dude, she's definitely really good. I think y'all would sound fire as fuck on a collab. I was
Dude.
gonna say, I was
See,
gonna
yeah,
say
that's the
that.
thing is I wanna keep working with more female rappers and producers and everything because I feel like my voice is so much more on the like higher end and like it's not what you'd expect. So it's kind of cool when I can do that. And what's cool is like I don't feel like I'm really like put in one box. So I feel like I can kind of just jump on different sounds and like it never to me feels weird. I usually will tell people within 2 seconds if I'm like, yeah, I can't do that, if they send me music, but I'm just like, dude, let's collab. I want to collab with as many people as I physically can. So,
Oh yeah. What's like the craziest like like story you have like like just doing like underground like basement shows and
yeah.
shit.
Oh,
Like
shit.
what's like the craziest like whether you get drunk as fuck or
Oh,
like fucked up
fuck.
or some
No, no.
shit.
I got a couple, bro. Oh, man. Okay. There's three that are absolutely insane. So
Okay.
I play, we played this show in Portland. This was when I was in my band. Played this show in Portland and we invited way, way too many people, like way too many. we were playing a show and like everybody was so drunk, and there was like all these like hardcore dancers. The one dude straight up hit my piano, it broke the window and it flew out the window. Like he
What the
was that
fuck?
drunk. It was crazy. And he was like, throwing fists. So he was like so drunk, and he kept hitting everybody, like hitting us while we were trying to play. Cause like I played keyboard in the hardcore band, and
Yeah.
I was just like, that's crazy. But the craziest thing is that keyboard still fucking works when you plug it in.
What
Like
the
it didn't
fuck?
break. Yeah, it was
Bro, y'all
crazy.
didn't jump his ass?
Dude, I don't know. At some point he like, I don't know where the
But
fuck he even went.
is that
But
just like the norm? Like, is that just like the norm in like metal? Like, let's see like metal shows and
no,
shit, and people are just
like that's
swinging.
not I mean, dude, hardcore is different, and I didn't know that until I was like in the band, because I used to
Yeah,
like mosh and shit, but then all of a sudden these guys were just like hurting people.
yeah,
And I was
that
just
shit's
like,
crazy.
this is just different, but it was cool. Like it was a lot to get used to. But then like fast forward a couple years later, other craziest memory I had was, it was my first time like kind of getting out of the house here in Washington. And one of my friends was like, yo, come over to this artist party. We're throwing a huge party. I get there and there's like 50 freaking people. And I was like, this is a lot of people for like a house thing. And it's all local like rappers and shit. And then they're
Mm,
like, yo, you're a singer, like play a show. I was like, okay. And so then I just played a show like randomly, like because I was there. And it
mm.
was fire as fuck, because it was like none of them knew who I was. And then all of a sudden I was just talking to all these people. But it was like, just because I showed up, I got to play a show. Like it was crazy. Like,
Yeah.
and it was also crazy because it was hot as fuck underneath, and everyone was like lighting blunts and shit. And I was just like, guys, like the smoke is ridiculous. So it was like no ventilation, like 50 people packed into a basement playing a show in there. And it went off. It was unreal. And we just
Fucking
had like
crazy.
a one PA and a mic, and that was it.
Bro, that's how them shits be, bro.
No, it
But
was wild.
yeah. We're gonna do a quick intermission and we'll
Yeah.
be right back. Hey guys, this is the Scottie Show. Quick intermission. If you guys did like the podcast and interview that I did with Tone Deaf, please give him a follow on Twitter at Tone Deaf Sounds. You can catch him on Spotify, Tone Deaf. You can also get him on SoundCloud, Tone Deaf. I'm pretty sure he's on Apple Music as well. He's always dropping consistently. He puts out music videos as well on his YouTube channel, Tone Deaf. You can pretty much catch him anywhere at Tone Deaf. Pretty easy, Tone Deaf. You can either do it all one word or you can do tone space deaf. I'm pretty sure it shows up. I've typed it both ways. But yeah, man, I just want to, big shout out to Tone Deaf and what he's doing. Like I said, he has an album dropping July 5th. Please show him a lot of love. We'll go through one more time. SoundCloud, Tone Deaf. Spotify, Tone Deaf. Twitter, Tone Deaf. If you guys want to support underground music and, support your favorite artists, please, just show support, show love. Please subscribe, like the video. Please follow, subscribe, like his stuff as well. This is the Scottie Show. Back to the interview. Thank you. What up, y'all? We back. So man, yeah, we were talking about the craziest shows and like craziest shit you've like seen and done. Like what's like the craziest shit like you've seen like living in Washington State, just like
Um,
going about your day.
Man, I don't know. I kind of up here. I stay inside. Like I just go to work. I come
Yeah.
home. I make music. I take care of my kid. I hang out with my wife. Like that's it. Speaking of my wife, she's got a tag. If people want to follow her, it's King Cars on Twitter. She's fire. She makes music too. We make it together. It's
Okay.
hella fun. Craziest shit I ever saw was actually in Oregon, where I used to live with my parents. There was a crazy shooting right outside of our door.
That's crazy.
And I just remember being like 7, and my dad was like, "Get down," and I was like in my freaking building, and we heard like guns going off, and then my dad just like ran out there, which was crazy, and he like
Yeah.
stopped the gunman and everything. So that was one of the craziest things, because there was like bullet holes in our house, which
That's wild.
it was wild, bro. Like up here, I hear of stuff. We just had a shooting in Tacoma, which was super sad. Uh, but I kind of just stay indoors. I'm like, I don't want to talk to people up here. Like, I'm pretty reclusive.
Yeah.
I don't see too much crazy shit. It was crazy in the pandemic when that first went off. I was a shift supervisor over in Starbucks. It was
Mm.
like my third day, and they're like, "Okay, lock the doors." I'm like, "The fuck!" And so we closed our lobby, and all of a sudden, like people wouldn't get in, and it was crazy. People were like psychotic over the coffee. Like they bang
So
on
they
the
were
window.
just trying to like get in, and
They're
y'all
trying to
was
get in like fucking zombies. I was like, "What's happening here?"
so like y'all would let them in because of like COVID and shit like that.
Yeah.
So they
So we
were just
locked our
like, let us like
there,
they
it
need.
was crazy. I was like, because we had to close early and we had to lock the lobby doors, so we were drive-through only. And they would come in and just bang on the window, and I'd be like putting cash away. I'm like, am I gonna get fucking killed? What's happening right now? Like,
Yeah, that's just wild.
dude, yeah, Washington's got some crazy like demographics of people because you've got like very, very rich people and then very, very poor people, and then kind of
Hmm.
everyone in between. And it's all in like really close proximity. So it can get kind of sketchy at times.
Yeah, I feel like places like, because in the Midwest, like the only way you see like yeah, there's really, really rich people, but there's also places for the really, really poor to like live and like have a decent
Yeah.
life. And like the middle class, you can like there's like kind of like stepping stones to work your way up. I feel like
Right.
on like the far West Coast and like on the far East Coast, it's kind of hard to like,
It is.
have like a stepping stone of like, okay, boom, I can be lower class and I can go middle class and then I can
Yeah.
go a little bit higher than middle class and I can possibly work my way to like the upper class. Like,
Exactly.
is
Yeah.
it kind of like, because like is it like a huge difference of like,
It can be depending on the area you're in. It feels like it, and it's
yeah.
like it's a demographic and a geographic thing. So like
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of native reservations around here, and so like those areas just aren't funded correctly by the government, so they're low income. But then you go up the hills, and there's like a place called Lakeland Hills that's just like straight up like richest place I've ever
Beverly
been. Like
Hills
I was
type shit.
it's crazy, at least here. Like, and there's places up even more north, like past Seattle. Like Bellingham is a super rich city, and there's just like gated communities with like $2 million homes and Teslas everywhere. And then you
Yeah.
go right down the road, and there's Kent, and there's a shooting every other day. And it just
Yeah.
sucks because like all those people are people, and they're just trying to live life. But there's like a very clear like
Wage
locational.
gap. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tough because stuff like is mad expensive up here, and
Yeah.
it's almost harder if you don't own a house to like live at all,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah,
it
because you're renting and
you're two payments away from homelessness up here half the time, even as a
mhm.
homeowner. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's just crazy. Because my brother lives in he lives in Phoenix, and like
Yeah,
he's on the West Coast, like pretty much. Like, would y'all count Phoenix as or Arizona as West Coast?
Phoenix and yeah, like New Mexico, Phoenix, Arizona. Like I gotta think, like where are those at? Are they like they're more
It's,
south though, right?
I don't know. I just know that Arizona isn't Phoenix, Arizona like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour away from like LA or some shit like that. I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Like it's more inland, but I'd still say it's kind of West Coast still.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Like he had my brother had a like he's looking for a second job and shit too. So like I definitely
it's bro, it's
like
wild.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, and like I'm just like, cause like I live in the Midwest and like shit's a little
yeah.
cheap. I would say shit is a lot more cheaper here than it is like over there. I'm
Yeah.
just like when he's like telling me that shit, I'm just like I can't even like fathom like, oh fuck, I gotta get a second job and shit like that. I'm like,
No, for
that shit is fucking crazy. That like
it's
that's why I even have to
trash,
do that
dude.
shit. Bro, I'm gonna tell you this. So like I did a show in Iowa and like this is just like how cheap like the Midwest is though, bro.
That's
Like
crazy you say
gas
Iowa.
is
My
like
family just moved there. Like
bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. If you move there, bro, you would if you worked at Starbucks, bro, and you live in Iowa, you can afford a fucking 2 bedroom like apartment, like
it's
no problem.
wild.
Like literally, like you could just work, you could work at Starbucks and afford a 2 bedroom apartment with no problem, like no issue. You wouldn't even be worried about like, yo, how am I gonna pay for rent? Because you would see the rent prices and like I knew so like I was just like asking people around. I'm like, so like, what's like the rent property? Like, you know, how much does it cost to like rent like
Yeah,
an apartment out here? This dude told me he rented like a 2 bedroom for like 500. I was like, bro, that's fucking like,
that's
cause
crazy.
like,
That's just like the car payment up here, bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's wild. I was like, damn. And then like, I was like riding around. I was like going on my way back to Illinois, and
yeah,
I saw like I was just gonna get gas in Iowa. So like gas is like high as fuck right now. I
yeah.
looked, gas was like $4 and like 19 cents. Or like
That's
four, it was like 4.50 or
crazy.
some shit like that. I was
It's like
like,
$7 here. Like,
that's wild.
it is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
okay.
See, like, yeah, ours is like going down. Yeah, ours is going down now. I think ours went down to like
Yeah.
$5.12. Like and then like another thing about Iowa has no sales tax. So everything that you see that's like what the price is.
See, Oregon was like that, and I fucked with that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was every time because I got a homie, I had like a couple homies out in Oregon because I grew up
Mm-hmm.
there. So like a lot of my like longtime friends live there, and I'm gonna go see a bunch of them next week. And
Yeah.
I love it. Every time I go there, I'm like, this drink is $2. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not like two plus change. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't even try to, add up anything anymore out here. I'm just like, it's gonna cost me a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like what I think, like, do you ever just think about like, yo, like where am I, like where's my fucking tax money going? Like
Dude, I try not to because it ain't going to the right places. That's for fucking damn sure.
yeah, it just blows my mind because Washington State and like California, like they like to say they're quote unquote like liberal, but like
Nah,
they act like Republicans with the money, like because they're the ones that
bro,
they
that's
get caught
because they're
stealing this shit. They get caught stealing the
no,
fucking money, all types of shit.
that's because they're just fucking like, okay, I'll put you on, and I'm sure you've kind of heard this from different people
Mm-hmm.
here, but Seattle and Portland are like the facades to say that these areas are all like progressed, but they're
Yeah,
not. Places in the
yeah.
South and places like that are way more
They're
welcoming
way
and
more, way more progressed. Yeah, I got family in
bro,
Mississippi,
way
all that
more
shit. Yeah,
progressive,
yeah,
way better. And
yeah.
and I find that it happens in our music world too. Like up here, like it's not a lie that like playing shows up here is hard as hell and it's not fun and it's usually just like a frustrating battle to get
Bro,
yourself
that is
out
like
there.
one of the things that like blow my mind. I'm like, yo, like, how is it easier to do a show in Atlanta or Texas or
Yeah.
like some other
No,
places,
it's
like
because
in the
it's
South, where like people like in these places where like they're against like like guns and stuff like that. Like people are against the South because like the guns and shit like that, but you don't really hear about shootings and stuff like that happening at
nope.
these like events or anything like that. And
No,
like, but
because
when it
it's a
comes,
community.
yeah, like, and I feel like because like I was thinking about going to college out in like Washington State like a long time ago, and like I was
Yeah.
just like watching like a lot of like reviews and stuff like how people feel about it, and like pretty much like what you said, that's what they were saying. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people like like it's not really as like progressive as like what some people like say, and like
exactly.
it's like a facade. It's like
It
fake,
is.
you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I like to think of it as like, I mean, these places are like, all these cities just want money,
Yeah,
and that's all they want. Like these
yeah.
these people in power just want money, and
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna put on whatever thing is gonna make whoever's paying money feel good. So, for instance, these rich families that just pull up out of California and can afford to have a Tesla in Bellingham,
Yeah,
they like to think that their money's going towards helping homeless people and that they're such great people, but they're really just feeding the fire of
yeah,
this giant gap of support. And that's the thing I noticed. Like a lot of like I got family in Ohio and kind of that area, and
mm-hmm.
they came up to visit like a couple months ago for my grandpa's funeral, and like I was like, damn, I miss you guys. Like you're so loving, and like
Yeah,
welcoming and like family style. Like you want to
mm-hmm.
just talk to me because you want to, not
Bro,
because of like a transaction.
that's just how it is in the Midwest and like
It
and
is,
in the
yeah.
South. It's just like back in the day, bro. When I was a kid, bro, we used to have our doors unlocked, bro. Like
Same. No, same.
we would just leave our doors unlocked and like our house doors unlocked and sometimes even our car doors unlocked because we weren't afraid of like, you know, there's community, everyone knows who everyone
Exactly.
is. So like we
Yeah.
weren't like, yo, like I'm not like, you know, worried about someone trying to steal my shit because if someone does try to do it, you know, Jim Bob, you know, right across the street is gonna fucking blow his head off.
Facts. Yeah, facts, facts.
Like,
And I kind of would go visit all the time as a kid, and it was such a different culture. Like
yeah.
my Ohio family is kind of like the family that I had, and we were like people actually kind of pick up on it when I talk.
Mm,
They're like, "Are you from Midwest?" And I was like, "Kind of. My mom's side is." And
yeah.
so it's different, dude. And there's always been kind of that part of me where I'll see where all these lines can connect within like art and be like,
Mm,
yo, so and so could hook you up with this and you could record at his house. And
yeah.
they're always like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm trying to connect the dots for you here. Like we're all a part of this together. But up
Mm.
here, there is, it's even worse in Washington, but in Oregon and Portland, Seattle, there's just a cutthroat aspect to it that I hate because it's just so like soulless.
I
It's
feel like
like
it's like that. I feel like that's just like big city shit
it
because
is. Yeah.
like all right,
That's
so like
LA too.
yeah, Chicago, like Chicago's like, you know, like there's genuine people there. Like, yeah, Chicago's a part of the Midwest, but at the end of the day, that is a huge city hub
It's a
where everyone
huge
from,
city.
you know, like people from New York, LA, like all over,
Yeah.
you know, come to
Around
Chicago
the
or
world.
they move to Chicago to chase their dreams just like any other like big city. So
Exactly.
like there's like that, like, you know, when I feel like when there's like an abundance of something, people are less appreciative of it. I even told Astro, like, you know, I know that he doesn't really fuck with like he's kind of upset with like the Washington area, which I understand.
Right.
I really now like I'm talking to you, like I understand why someone would be upset with like how shit is being ran out there. Like
Yeah.
I even told him, I'm like, bro, why don't you just move to the fucking South? Why don't you move to Atlanta where you'll be
He
more.
wants to. He wants to
Bro,
go to
like
the
even
East
you, like I
Coast.
would say, even you would thrive more in like Texas or like
Yeah.
Atlanta or some shit, like in like the South. Like
Yeah.
I feel like your shit would be like way more appreciated out there because number one, you could hit up all like you could probably set up a show like at the snap of a finger and network and all that shit, and like
Yeah.
you could have like running shows back to back to back easily. But like
One of
I
my
feel.
boys down in Tennessee constantly is like, dude,
Bro,
come down and play
Nashville,
shows.
Tennessee. Oh my God, that's like that's bro. That's another place I think you would kill because of like your
Yeah.
rock background and shit, bro. Oh my, yeah. I don't know why you have like,
Well,
but
their shows
honestly,
are hype as fuck. He kept
yeah,
sending me
yeah,
photos
bro.
of it, and
They
I'm
love
like,
entertainment. Like places like
yeah,
that,
for real.
they love like they appreciate it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
places like, you know, here in Illinois, Iowa. You know, you got the Tennessee, and then you got like, you know, places like South and all those
Mhm.
other areas. They appreciate entertainment because number one, they realize that, you know, they may not get that again. You know,
Yeah.
like they like, you know, when COVID hit, they were like, fuck that. I'm not like they were like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like in Illinois, like shit was like, you know, weird for like, you know, shit was weird for like I gave it like 4 weeks. Shit was like weird, and people were just like, "I'm not wearing a fucking mask." Like they were just like, they're like, "Fuck this shit." Like they like live like their own, like, you know, like they're not really like with like, you know, telling people like what to do. They just
Hmm.
like, yo, do whatever you like, do whatever you want, like or if someone did tell me to like wear a mask or something like that, it was like, yo, man, I know I don't want to tell you to do this, but like it's just my job. Like they wouldn't give you a hard time about it. I feel like
Yeah.
places like, you know, up there, or, you know, I feel like they're hard. Were they hard asses about that shit?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to be too. I was telling people like, I mean, I
Bro,
worked
I
in
can
a
only imagine. I mean, like, cause you're like under like that pressure of like, cause I could like, cause I was like watching like,
I didn't care what people do. Like I personally, I still wear a mask
yeah,
because I seen all my friends get mad sick when they took theirs off. But I think it was
uh-huh,
because there was the mask on, mask off, mask on, mask off over and over up here.
yeah.
And it was too hard to like get in a lifestyle. So I just put one on when I'm in public around people I don't know. And that's my philosophy. And everyone's like,
Yeah.
why do you keep wearing a mask? I'm like, because I don't trust the CDC. I didn't from the start. Like
Mm-hmm.
if we're gonna go down that route. But like
Bro, yeah, that shit, bro.
it's
Like
too
that whole
political
thing
for
was just
me.
a big,
Like,
like, was just a like that whole like 2 years. Honestly, I feel like it was like a robbery of like people's like time, money, all types of stuff because like you didn't know what was real, what wasn't real, and I'm just
exactly.
like, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, we have went through this shit so many times from like cavemen to now. if this shit like if and Corona is like a Corona the coronavirus
Yeah,
like it's SARS like that has been a prevalent thing in history. My thing is, and we
yeah,
survived this shit in like medieval times and all these other times. What's different from now? And
we can
like
do it again.
that's
There was a definite, obvious level of government control.
manipulation. It was
Yeah,
like it was a whole bunch of like, and like my thing is, I don't believe in government like I believe in government control to like a limit, like limited like government control. But I feel like people should make their own decisions, just like how you want
agreed.
to wear your mask. That is your right as a human
Exactly.
being. Like the
Yeah.
universe gave you like that internal, like right. But like, and then like when people ask you like, yo, like why are you wearing the mask? Like you like I don't know, do you ever feel like weird that someone's asking you that, like or if someone's asking you your own your lifestyle decisions, do you ever feel
Yeah.
weird about that?
No, I think it created a ton of dissent because what I found was like there was a lot of different people who would have all these mixed viewpoints on everything. And I always try to just kind of pull it back and be like, hey, you have your own set of morals, I have my own set of
Bro,
morals.
yeah.
Let's support each other as humans and keep it moving because
But
I don't want to sit here and go back and forth
that's like
and just get divided because
fuck yeah.
that's exactly what it division creates money and wealth and
Yeah.
wars. And that's what I've seen happen in the last 2 years. Now I think we're
And I
finally
feel
at
like
a
this, bro. I agree with that, but I feel like they come a full circle on this shit again with like like the Roe versus Wade thing. Like
no, it's
I
facts.
feel like they're creating that shit again, and I'm just
They
like,
are.
yo, I'm just like,
The
bro,
other thing
y'all
I've seen
falling. I'm
too
like,
is
y'all
like,
falling for it, bro. No one can literally
no, yeah,
the federal government can't tell you whether or not you can get an abortion or not. Like only your state legislation can tell you. Like the state government governs its people. They gave it up to the states. If y'all want y'all state to like legalize that shit, y'all have to vote the people in that's going to legalize that shit. Like the
I
shit is
think
in
they're
y'all hands. And like I
uh,
think that they're making it a bigger deal. It is a big deal, but it's so simple of voting locally. People ignore voting locally like so much.
to a degree. Yeah, I think voting locally is really important. I think it's missed. I think oftentimes people are way too
Bro.
focused on like the top dogs and
Yeah,
like
the
what's
top
the
dogs.
president going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, like in my opinion, this whole switching of the Roe versus Wade thing, like I'm an advocate for human rights.
Yeah, yeah.
And when those things slowly but surely get stripped away, the lowest of the low are the ones who are going to experience the worst.
Yeah, yeah,
And
facts.
it is a thing that personally I think it's not okay what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um
I
I
don't
do
think it's okay
understand
either.
like I do understand what they were doing where they're taking taking it back to the states, but I do think it's really tough to get anything done you actually want to see done in your state unless you know exactly what you're doing. And let's be honest,
Bro, no one knows what the doesn't
the
know
average
what
person in
the
America doesn't know how the
they don't know
fuck
who
any
the
of it's
fuck is
run.
running for governor. They don't know who the fuck's running for governor in their
And I
state
mean, why
or
would they?
mayor.
And how would they? Because
Yeah,
like no one's taught those things in school. No one
yeah,
gives a fuck about those things. We're all taught to look at other shit. We're taught to look at like fires that are happening all around us instead
yeah.
of like how we can change it. So, I mean, to
Mm-hmm.
me, women's rights should be women's business.
Yeah, that's my
I
thing. I'm
think
just like, and like that's why I'm just like, bro, like they just started a whole other like because
they are
at
it's
first it
oh bro,
was
it's so purposeful. It's so
bro.
purposeful. Like
At first it was black versus white, and I was just like,
right.
bro, like y'all still on this black versus white thing. Like obviously, I know that like yeah, there are some like fucked up ass like white people, just like how there's fucked up ass black people like that sell our own people out and shit. And I'm just like, bro,
Yeah.
like they're just pitting people against each other. And then like once like the black versus white thing kind of wasn't working for them, oh let's do the mask, let's do the fucking like mask versus the maskless, like. And then
No,
like
that's a good point.
then they had like the Donald Trump shit, and I'm just like the Donald Trump versus like the people, and like
Yeah.
I don't let people's like political views like make me like not want to be somebody's friend or not. I'm just like, oh, that's your political views, cool. Like I'm not like, oh, like you're a piece of shit if you like this person or that person. I don't look at it as like I don't look into it like that deep because like your political views aren't who you are as a person. It's just like who you just want to vote for. Like people weigh too much shit like on stuff, and I feel like it ruins like a lot of relationships and friendships. Like I couldn't imagine not being cool with anyone. Be like, let's just say like you like Drake and I don't like Drake. Like, like
Right.
I can't like, oh, I'm not gonna fuck with you because you like Drake. There's people that are literally like that. Like
Yeah.
I saw a
No, for
video of
sure.
this, saw a video of this like girl and this guy, and like the girl was like, "Oh, I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar," and the other dude was like, "I like Lil Durk," and she was like, "I gotta put you on real music. You don't know what real music is." And I'm just like, how can you? I'm a fan of Kendrick Lamar, but I'm just like, you can't say what is real music and what isn't real music because you think that Kendrick Lamar is a superior like artist in your
Right.
head. I'm just like, some
Yeah, I
people
was
think,
having that's so good. I was having that conversation with a friend of mine today. Like elitist ideas and mentalities is what will set people back like so far
that shit's fucking
because
stupid.
and it's dumb. Like you're literally arguing about sound waves. Like to me, that's way, way dumber to argue about than something like even a political thing. Because at
Yeah.
least with the political thing, that's talking about like how you live and like laws and regulations that you
Mm-hmm.
agree with or don't agree with. And I think there is a point you can get to with someone if you really start to unpack how they think, and then all of a sudden you're like, yo, actually, like, bro, this guy's a Nazi. Like, I won't be friends with them. You know, like there
Yeah,
are people like that.
until you actually get to know the person and see like,
Yeah.
behind all the other shit that they say. And in reality, when you become a when and I'm not a parent yet, but I feel like when you become older, you become more a little conservative. Maybe we shouldn't spend a little extra money. Maybe we shouldn't, you know,
Yeah.
like maybe we should save a little bit of extra money. Maybe like I shouldn't show my kid this kind of stuff. Maybe I
Yeah.
like, like, and I definitely understand that. Like I definitely understand how parents.
I think everybody, if they're honest with themselves, is somewhere in the middle.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if you're honest, you're in the middle. But I feel like the older we get, the more like conservative with like ourselves we become, because like
Yeah.
you learn stuff because you're so liberal when you're young, and you learn from those mistakes when you're young. When as you get older, you're learning from those mistakes. You're like, oh, I actually don't like that anymore, or like I'm not
Right.
like, like with that kind of shit. Because you grow up and like you gain knowledge and like you learn stuff, and you figure out what's really more important to you as an adult when you get older and you have a family and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure you went through that shit. You figured out, this is actually more important to me, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
a lot of homies, you had that were like, on like, let's just say like they were thinking, the shit that you used to think, but you don't think that shit no more. And they probably think that you're weird because you don't like that shit no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
No, it's facts. That did happen. There's a lot of people who, they didn't have to go through what I went through with
They don't know what it's like to be a
life,
fucking parent.
Yeah.
They don't know that. They don't
It's
know what that shit
different.
like. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
definitely hard.
That's why I
It's
don't.
amazing though, but
Yeah, I don't judge people that say that they're like in the middle, or if they do have like conservative views, because like black people, bro, like I'm gonna let you like if and black people like want to admit this or not, they grow like we grew up like super conservative. Like if you the average black person is really like is conservative. Like they grew up in the church,
yeah.
they're family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
They like to save money. They like to make money. They don't want to pay taxes either.
Facts. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, damn, like how much more conservative do you want to get? And then like, on top of that, most of them are like, and this is not my viewpoint, but most of them are like they're anti-LGBTQ. I'm gonna throw that out there. I'm gonna throw that out the, right now. Most of them they have like that viewpoint. And now like,
Mm-hmm.
like black people nowadays, like they're becoming more accepting, but it's a longer, it's taking a little bit longer for people to understand like these kind of things, that people are who they are, and like they
Right.
do what they do. And like all you can do is just like accept that person for who they are and be like, yo, I think it's cool, like, do you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I feel like people just really aren't like super honest with themselves, and like and I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of this shit, like I'm not into like the whole like dividing shit. I'm more of like, let's sit down and have a conversation and let's have an understanding.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I think there's a lot of, I mean, and I don't think if you and I sat here for the next, 6 hours talking about life, I feel like
Yeah.
we'd find we're not completely eye to eye, but that's not a big deal. Like
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm
me,
saying. Like this,
and
like
I think too many people are too quick to not listen. And I think it creates more tension than needs to be there.
bro. Yes, bro, 100%. And like that's why, like, I had, yeah, okay, I had I had Moth Girl on. I wanted to show people like, yo, bro, like you could sit down and have a conversation with someone that like, you know, identifies as a female. And like, I'm like, yo, 100% like, yo, like, let's just have a conversation, bro. Like, and like some people will look at me weird, like, yo, dude, like black people will literally be like, yo, dude, like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm having a conversation, bro.
Right.
Like y'all gotta like get out of this judgmental mindset of like you can't talk to these people like when everyone's just people. You know what I'm saying? Like people will judge me for
Yeah.
even having a conversation with white people on here. Like, you know what
No,
I'm
for
saying?
sure.
And like what I want to do is like I want to like break like those barriers and be like, yo, you can sit down, have a conversation, and we can disagree, we can agree, but at the end of the day, like we are just all people and we're just trying to figure out
Right.
life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it's a good way to go about music and art in general, because to me it's like art and music's just an extension of being a person in your life and what you've done and gone through. And you know, if you can't sit down and talk to the person, then like I don't know, you're not going to really appreciate the art on that level. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
surface level. So I think it's cool you're taking the time to do that with everybody, because you're seeing a really wide net of people who come from really different backgrounds, but you're also kind of coming to this common denominator of like music itself and art itself
It's just
is
talent.
important. It's
Talent is talent.
important enough. It's important enough to break down those barriers.
Mm-hmm.
It's important enough to break down those biases we may have built up just culturally,
Yeah.
and really get to the core of like, okay, why do I make music? Why do I love music? Why am I here? What am
Mm-hmm.
I doing? You know, and I think it's really cool because not a lot of people are willing to kind of take
Take
the
that
time.
risk, like you know what I'm saying. And like
Yeah.
I don't know, there's not a lot of platforms that would that like I haven't seen anyone interview you know like an artist like yeah okay or a Moth Girl. Like no one has done that yet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
No,
why?
yeah, that's
I'm just
facts.
I'm just like why? Like and I feel like, you know, just like how like how like you know I didn't no one would know how the Washington scene is if you didn't speak on it, if Astral didn't speak on it. Like that shit
Right.
is real and like that shit needs to be like fixed. Like
Yeah.
there shouldn't be a reason why y'all can't have a show and like show out and showcase y'all talent as many times as y'all want. Y'all should be able to do that shit as many times. If y'all have like, if y'all get the money together, or if y'all selling out shows, or if y'all can sell tickets, there should be no reason why a venue should be like, yeah, man, go ahead, like
No, for sure.
let's work.
There's
It doesn't,
definitely a lot you can learn just by talking. Like it's
yeah,
crazy.
that shit blows my mind. Like especially like you know from just the outside looking in, I just be like just watching, and the fact that you told me, I thought that you were on the East Coast. You told me you're on the West Coast. I'm just like, I'm
That's funny.
like I was just like, bro, like what? Like it blows my mind because I talked to Astro. I'm like, how the fuck are you not like big enough yet? I look at you like the way that you produce your stuff and put your stuff out. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like in these areas. And now that I'm able to like talk to y'all, I can understand. And
Hmm.
it's just like a lot of like it seems like weird gatekeeping and like people don't like want
Yeah.
to give people chances and stuff. And then that's just
No,
it's super
it's
weird.
weird.
It's
It's
super
weird
weird.
up here. Also, I'm in a different boat too than Astral is, just because I'm kind of like I'm dabbling in two different
Mm-hmm.
lifestyles, you know, like I got my artist lifestyle online, but then I've
Uh,
also got to take care of my own. So, you know, my son and family comes first. So if moves I'm making in music are detrimentally affecting that,
mm,
that ain't where I'm gonna go. But if I can
yeah.
financially do it on top of it, I'm gonna fucking do it. Like I'm
Oh
already
yeah.
in talks with everybody about playing shows in Philly, New York,
Yeah.
Maryland, like Tennessee. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna make it happen. But for me, the grind is just a lot slower. Like I gotta have the full resource. I can't take as big a chances as I could if, you know, I was single and shit. And that's
Mm-hmm.
nothing. I'm not mad about that. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that's my reality. So it's kind of wild because I'm up here in the West Coast, and that is a good point though, what you're saying. Like if you were in a different area, it might be different. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. I mean, I'm not moving though with fucking houses yet.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I
yeah,
just want to
man.
hold.
Yeah, yeah, that shit does it takes time, bro. Like especially like how
Yeah.
like everything's just all fucked up and like
Dude,
this whole
flights
like
are so expensive too. Like I was looking, I'm like $500 to go to Philly. Like why? Like
yeah, that's just crazy.
it's
It's just crazy as hell. And
it's
like they expect people like, especially like, since like the pandemic ended and shit like that. I'm just like, so y'all just expecting people to just spend $500 on a fucking flight. Y'all expect like right as soon as like the pandemic ended and like,
dude, I know none of us have money.
bro,
Like
like it shit just blows my
literally.
mind. It blows my mind. And then like they want to raise like the property values of like the like of apartment complexes go down, but they want to raise your rent up. Like I'm just like, yo, this shit does not make any like it doesn't make any sense. And
No, it's because they want people to stay stagnant. They want them to sit in their zones and not move. And
yeah,
because when
yeah,
people can like localize and move, there's
yeah.
power in that. And
Yeah,
I think that
that's what I feel like that is what they're really afraid of because
yeah,
you can not only vote with your right to vote, you can vote by moving. Because if like
true.
you, because that's why like because people don't realize that sometimes things are they weigh like voting like states and like counties and stuff like that. They weigh that based on the population.
Yeah.
And let's just say like people that could afford to move south and stuff like that, or that's not fucking with like the West Coast or some shit like that. Like if they just decide to just like because during the pandemic, only the rich people moved to the south. If we're being like only the rich people move to
Yeah.
Texas, like no middle class people could really like afford to like make that kind of big of like a jump. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
because we lost all our money trying to work. Like
Yeah. And now they're trying to keep everybody there and shit
yeah.
by raising the rent and then not increasing the wages. Like,
No, it's fucked,
that
dog.
doesn't make any like. I'm
No,
telling you,
it
bro.
doesn't.
Like someone that lives in the Midwest, bro. Like that shit does not make any sense. Like that y'all would have to get a second job instead of your guys' wages increasing. Like why would
No,
why like
it's
that shit
true.
doesn't correlate. Like I
We
would
had a keep going. What were you
like
saying?
if you said that you were getting a second job just to save up more money, that would like I'll be like, oh shit, that's dope, bro. But like getting like a second job to just like cover necessities and stuff like that, like I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and
Like
it
what the
has to
fuck is
do
going
with
on in these areas?
they're not pumping the wages up quick enough. Like we did get wage increases, but not by a lot. And I was having a conversation with my supervisor, and he was just like, "Hey, like, or no, my manager, like, of the head of the Costco area," and then he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, like, what do you think could be done better?" Because he had a meeting with all of us. And I was like,
Yeah.
either
Pay
I,
me
I was
more,
like, I
motherfucker.
was like, it's not even money. You could do two things. You could either give all your employees a discount on groceries or a discount on gas, and we would all work even harder for you.
Mm,
I was like, it doesn't have to be just a giant wage increase, but you know how much money I'd save saving money on gas?
mm-hmm.
I would get gas here. I'd get more food here. You would increase your sales if you did that,
That's
and
facts.
they were like, that's a good idea, but of course it's one ear out the other because they're the ones getting all this dough and they're out of touch with what we're going through on the front lines. So I think for me, my biggest thing is like, if I can keep my positivity up, if I can keep working with people and just
Mm-hmm.
like enjoying life, like it's all good. And I mean, I'm probably going to get out of this situation soon. I'm going to be a supervisor soon. So money will come,
Yeah,
and it's
bro.
like
No,
life
that's
is
what,
okay, but it's rough. It's definitely hard out here.
bro. Like that's and like just rolling with like the punches and shit, bro. Like I like salute people that like like that chase like their dreams and like they're working a full-time job or like two jobs and shit like that because that is like the real reality of an artist. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't get like that overnight like success. A lot of people have to work for it. A lot of people and like
Yeah.
I just don't like the perception that's put out of the modern day like artists like, oh man, I got like I'm drinking lean and like all this other shit like
I quit my
I,
job and now I'm couch surfing.
yeah, like I'm not with none of that shit. Like I'm all about getting your money and like and
Yeah.
making sure like you're taking care of yourself and you're being responsible. And then like because once you get like that, like success and then you get that money, you understand I earned this fucking money. So I have to
Right. Right.
you're
It's not
more
just showered on you. Yeah.
yeah, like you know how to really like handle that shit now. And like people that get that overnight success, they don't really understand the concept of hard earned money. They don't understand
No.
like that. They don't understand that
Eh,
shit.
and I think it's good too, because like you had mentioned earlier, like I like when I can find an artist and go through their catalog.
Hmm.
I was having a conversation with this about eternity, like with eternity, and
Hmm.
he was like, yo, the thing that's cool is, you know, if any one of us blows up, we're just putting out content, so everybody who is a new fan, like if we actually get high enough, they
Hmm.
have a hell of a lot of music to listen to,
Yeah, bro.
and they got shit to go find, and that's
Yeah.
super cool. Like not
Yeah.
everybody can do that if they just blow up immediately. So I think like
Mm-mm.
the whole TikTok like kind of clout chase,
Hmm.
it's rough because then those
Cause you
people
only
get
got
up.
one hit, and then like now
Yeah,
you got to
you,
recreate that magic in a bottle.
you can't
But
do
then
it.
once you like, you've already established yourself as an artist, and you got like years worth of music. People are able to go through that shit, and like
Yeah.
the next thing you know, you getting fucking checks from like music that you made in fucking like 2016 or some
No,
shit.
seriously, I this is something I'll say to people, and this is what I've been doing sometimes too, is I'll pick an old song that didn't do well when I was younger, and
Hmm.
I'll bring it back, or I'll make a visual for it, and it'll click.
It'll hit, yeah, yeah,
And that
facts.
happens, and I think it's kind of cool, like seeing older, like newer, like
It
people.
just shows that you can make timeless music. It just shows that you
Exactly,
can,
yeah,
you like, and it shows that yeah, you were ahead of your time when you made this. Like it just, like it's just like like I can do this actually. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And I feel like people just need to like have like more faith in themselves. And
Oh,
like I
that's
said, like
good. Yeah,
I tell like I said, like I'm gonna keep on telling y'all, like you and a lot of other artists I talk to, make a motherfucking YouTube channel, bro, and put yourself out there, bro. Like, cause like I said, like I feel like y'all, like especially you, like you're more than just an artist. You have a lot of information that you can share. You have things that you can talk
yeah.
about.
You
Like
when you
you
say
lived a
YouTube
life.
channel, you're talking like literally like me talking, not
You
like my
talk,
music videos.
you
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
You can put out music videos, whatever you want. A YouTube channel, like is you. Like if you want to put out
Yeah,
music
I got
videos,
it. I got one. I got hella videos on it, but no,
bro,
that's a good point.
bro, yeah,
Like,
put like just like just have like a you could upload you just like reacting to shit because like I said, you
true.
listen to a lot of different type of music that other people don't listen to, so you could
Hmm.
react to some music that like no one has ever heard before, and like you can put people on, and you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, yeah.
and like I said, like and like those views build up just like music views, you know what I'm saying,
It's
and
true. And honestly, it puts more of a face to the name, gives like a
mhm.
human element to it.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like 100%. Like that's why I'm gonna just keep on preaching that to y'all, and like I just
Yeah.
want y'all to like for real, like don't be scared. Like that's why I started the podcast because like I don't want people to be scared to like put themselves out there. Like there's
Hmm.
artists that like I have message like DM that are like that are big and like they've never done an interview, but like they want to do like a written interview, not like a like an interview like this
Yeah.
or like some in-person shit because like they're scared of showing themselves. I'm like, yo, you can't be scared to fucking I understand you're a big artist, but like, bro, you can't be scared to like show yourself, bro. Like, like it's okay to have like an opinion and shit. And like the people that's gonna
Yeah.
rock with you, like if people are already fans of you, they're gonna be fans of you. And if people aren't fans of you, they aren't gonna be fans of you. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, but other than that, man, what other stuff you got coming up, man?
I got a cool new project coming out on July 15th, called Not Found. I'm really happy with this one. Like it is, I've been doing my own production since like 2015, really. That's when I started really taking it serious. And a lot of this sounds kind of like what I was trying to do then, but it's like actualized. And so it's all self-produced. Um, it's really fucking good. Like that's all I'm gonna say. Like, I'm just very excited about it. So I can't wait for people to hear it. It's a good like summer album. You can put it on while you sleep, while you drive.
Fun. All right, technical difficulties, but we're right back at it. All right, so Tone Deaf, man, you said you got a project coming out. Just elaborate on that real quick for us, please.
Yeah, July 15th, I got a album coming out everywhere on it's called No Not Found. You can find it on SoundCloud, Spotify, the works. Really excited. It's going to be fully self-produced. Um, it's just a lot of like my own kind of inner monologues coming out. A lot of really raw energy, a lot of raw emotion kind of in the tracks.
Oh yeah.
And, it's kind of got a little bit more of an ambient feel too. So you can put it on when you drive, when you go to sleep. But I'm very happy with it. Very proud of the work. Very much kind of I don't know, it felt effortless to make. So it's nice to kind of put it out and just have it be for people to experience it. And then aside from that, just a lot of collabs coming soon. And yeah, I'm just kind of kicking it all summer.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, we've been trying to get this in for quite some time, man. I'm
So
really
long.
happy. Yeah, man. I'm happy that like we finally got this in, man.
No, same.
Yeah, man. This was a really great conversation. We didn't just only talk about music. We just talked about like, how we view
Life.
life and how we like see things. And, I hope people really like digest this stuff. And, I'm just excited for what you got to come next, man. And I really think that you're super talented and you have like a lot of like, like a lot of potential and especially like, you're just someone that can produce your own music, you shoot your own videos and stuff. And I feel like the sky's the limit for you, bro. Like I just want you to
Thank
just
you,
stay
man.
consistent, man, and just keep on doing you. And like I said, dude, start that YouTube channel, man, for real.
Will do, bro.
For real, man. You have a lot to say, dude. You have a mic, you have the headphones, you have a webcam, bro. Like I think that you could just talk about a lot of different things musically. I feel like you
Yeah.
could show people a lot of dope music and like your outlook and stuff. And I feel like your YouTube channel will grow. I feel
Thank
like
you.
yeah, man. Like you just have a likable personality and all that shit, man. Just keep on like going and like I said, dude, start that fucking YouTube channel, bro. Like a lot of
Appreciate you,
a
man.
lot of y'all artists that really do that shit, bro. Like y'all really have like really great personalities. I know like a lot of
Yeah.
like I'm a recluse myself. I like being in the house and like when I do stand up and shit like that, like that's just like I feel like a wind up doll sometimes. I just do stuff like I just can like I just can do things and people are like yo like you can do stand up but like you don't like talking and like I'm just like yo
Right.
I'm
Right.
like a wind up toy bro like like I just do shit like on command like and I feel like
Yeah.
you can do stuff on command and I feel
Yeah.
like yeah you are a recluse but you have talent, you know what I'm saying.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, just yeah don't fucking waste that talent, bro. But
Appreciate it.
yeah, man. Other than that, man, this is the Scottie Show, Tone Deaf, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. Appreciate you,
Oh, it
homie.
was my pleasure, man. I'm glad we make it happen. It was
Hell yeah,
perfect.
hell yeah, bro.
All right. Have a good night,
Peace.
man.
You too.